People should just be cautious.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason why they shouldn't open, though.
You think
As long as people are cautious and watch what they do and sanitary things.
Yeah, welcome back to Opening West Virginia. Now we're going to look into the crystal ball to see what the future may look like for the state and one of its biggest industries, tourism. Joining us right now is WVU President Dr. E. Gordon Gee, Haynes Mansfield from Ace Adventure Resort, Eastern West Virginia Regional Airport Executive Director Nicholas Deal, and Steve Roberts from the West Virginia Chamber of Commerce. I want to start with you, Dr. Gee. I know education's not necessarily a tourism industry, but you do bring in a lot of people from out of state and a lot of students, and also athletics has a big draw. What does the future hold for education? I know a lot of schools are now saying they're going to cancel the fall semester in person. They're going to keep doing it online.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, and I'm honored to be here, and I think that you're doing a great service to the state. Let me just make a couple of points. First of all, I will say this, and I'm certain you heard this from Dr. Marsh and Dr. Wright. You know, the university with its academic medical center is the largest employer in the state, so we have a huge stake in the future of the state and its reopening. In terms of higher education, we are determined to open in the fall. It will be different. It will not be the same way. We'll not have all the kind of large gatherings that probably we would have expected, but education is an important component of this state, and in-person education will be present at the university. But as with everything, we've learned that these hybrid models, these hybrid flex models are going to work out very well. I'm a Luddite, and I've actually been using Zoom and other things. So if I can use it, then we can all learn to use it. And technology has escalated the way that we're going to think about higher education by about 10 years, I think.
We're going to do a round robin here. Let's check in next with Haynes Mansfield of Ace Adventures Resort, joining us, I believe, from Fayette or Raleigh County. How's your industry going to be affected? The recreation industry, this is coming up in prime time. We're talking about whitewater rafting season, all the outdoor recreation. What's going on in your industry, and what help do you guys need?
Well, we need a lot of help, and we are getting a significant amount of it from Governor Justice, his work, and then the liaison work of West Virginia Tourism with Chelsea Ruby. We started our season literally about a week before this all kicked in. We ran our first river trip, and we are now moving into a phase for our business where we bring in 90% of our revenue. So Memorial Day to Labor Day is when we make a year's worth of revenue, and that's what employs what starts with a staff of 20 people and very quickly escalates to a staff of 200 plus people. And then, of course, our guests start booking then. So the big help that we need right now is the ability to run business as usual, of course, modified with all the necessary safety precautions, but we're waiting on the go-ahead from the governor, tourism, and from the health officials in the state.
All right, from the southern part of the state to the eastern panhandle, let's check in with Nicholas Deal, Executive Director of the Eastern West Virginia Airport. I understand you guys had expansion plans. You're trying to bring out more business by expanding your footprint there at the airport and get more businesses to come in. How has that been affected, and what is the future going forward for you folks?
Well, we have seen a little bit of a slowdown here at the Eastern West Virginia Regional Airport. However, our plans are still moving forward. We're delayed by about a month, but we're in the process of purchasing our fixed-based operation and a nice executive aircraft hangar, and so we're moving forward with that. We're a general aviation airport. We're the largest airport in the state of West Virginia, but we don't have commercial service, and so we have not been as impacted as some of the other commercial airports in the area.
And in this panel, we want to check in with a guy who knows a lot about West Virginia business, Steve Roberts, president of the West Virginia Chamber of Commerce. You're always an optimist, Steve. Give us the big picture here. What are your hopes, and how quickly do you think we'll be out of this?
Mark, thank you very much for having me. It's an honor to be here with such distinguished guests. I think we should stop and remember that throughout this crisis in West Virginia, we have taken care of each other. Commerce has carried on. We very, very much appreciate our hero healthcare providers who have stayed at the job. People have been able to get groceries. People have been able to get needed medical services. And we really have seen that we are taking care of each other. We can take care of each other. And we are figuring out new ways to do things. What I am hearing from employers from throughout West Virginia is they're ready to get back into what they do. They want to provide goods and services that will help West Virginians get back to as normal a life as we might expect going forward. They're ready to go. They have wanted to and have taken, I think, a good job of taking care of their employees and making sure we don't have lots of sick employees. We should all remember that West Virginia has one of the lowest rates of infection in the nation. There are probably several reasons for that, but we've done a good job in West Virginia. We deserve to pat ourselves on the back, and we need to remember that not only will commerce continue, commerce has been continuing during the episode of this crisis, and because of that, we've been able to take care of each other.
Steve, thanks. We'll come back to you. I want to check in with Dr. Gordon Gee again, the president of West Virginia University. And Doctor, I want to be very sensitive about how I ask this question, because a lot of people look at sports and think that's kind of a frivolous thing in a health crisis and an economic downturn. But people want, sports is a big economic driver for a university. It brings in revenue, it brings in fans, brings in tourism. It's important to the viability of the state, and plus it gets people's minds off the seriousness of what's going on right now. The distraction kind of helps. It's kind of like Netflix. What are you hearing about whether we're going to have football in the fall, or what happens to the other fall sports as we go forward?
I get that question every day, and I'm actually on the playoff board, so we're talking about this a lot. We are going to play football in the fall. I really do believe that, even if I have to suit up. And I've got my ankles taped. I'm ready to go in. But I think that, again, with everything, we're going to do it based upon what is safe, what is healthy for our fans, what is healthy for our student athletes. But I do believe that we will play football. And by the way, I'll just say it from another point of view. I think that this country needs to move from being shut down to having an ability to be able to get back into hope and opportunity, and certainly athletics provides great hope and great synergy to people.
Well, another thing that provides great fun and entertainment is recreation. I want to go back to Haynes Mansfield at Ace Adventures Resort. The governor said in his press briefing yesterday, well, apparently, Haynes, we've lost the signal from Ace Adventures Resort, so let's move on to the Eastern Panhandle again, and Nicholas Deal, who is with the Eastern West Virginia Airport Authority. How critical is what you're doing there, and how similar is it to what they're doing at the North Central Airport in Bridgeport, where they've attracted a lot of business? It's almost an industrial park with a runway and airline traffic there. I ask because the Eastern Panhandle is one section of this state that's really booming economically and offers a lot of promise.
Right, we're very excited about what's happening at the Bridgeport Airport. We do have a large industrial park here, and we do have some businesses in that industrial park, but one of the things that we're working on is certainly growing that. We got a couple hundred acres of industrial space here, and while we are focused on attracting more aircraft to the area, we are certainly working to attract aerospace and industrial business here.
And let me ask a similar question to Steve Roberts from the Chamber of Commerce. And Steve, I just warn you, we're down to about 2 minutes here. But I mentioned earlier, you're a the glass is half full guy. You're very much an optimist. As we come out of this, what are the things that you're going to try to pitch to businesses, especially out of state, that might say, hey, come to West Virginia. This is a great place to do business. We conducted business very safely during COVID-19. This is a place you should come.
Mark, you said it very well. West Virginia is a wonderful place to be. It's a wonderful place to live. It's a wonderful place to make a life, and it's a wonderful place to make a living. And what we're seeing throughout this crisis is that we as West Virginians are taking care of each other, we're helping each other, and we are hearing every day at the Chamber of Commerce from people who say, you know, I have learned that I can work remotely, and I want to be in in West Virginia. So I can come to West Virginia and remotely work and do the job that I'm used to doing. So we have to get ready for that. We have to be prepared for that. We have to keep building our broadband and high-speed internet infrastructure. We have to make sure that we are educating our young people for the jobs that will be available for them in the future and that will help ensure that they have a good life. We want them to have that good life any place, but we particularly invite them to have that good life in West Virginia. We have a wonderful, beautiful state full of great people. We have proven through this crisis that we're really the place to be. And now we need to go out and make sure that the rest of the world knows what we already know, which is West Virginia truly is almost heaven.
All right, Steve, thanks. And I think you're right about broadband. Look, we're doing school by broadband, church by broadband, healthcare by broadband. Obviously, it's one of the industries we really need to expand in the state if we're going to get ahead of the game and survive economically. We want to thank our panelists for being with us. On behalf of all 6 Nexstar broadcasting stations that serve the mountain state of West Virginia, the special programming, and all of Nexstar Media, we want to thank all of our guests for taking the time to sit with us and answer our questions about opening West Virginia. Thank you and good evening.